argue our dream for reality. We're all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration.
And yes, join in, raise the vibration. Hello, you are here at the Livestream of Consciousness. That means it's Thursday. I am Michael Zinn. I welcome you to this space. This is a space that I created with Jesse Blaze probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it has just been like some sort of calling. It's such a great place for me. I called it my happy place way at the beginning. Ninja Kitty called it her happy place. I was like, this is my happy place. She said, this is my happy place. So we've created a space for people to come and just kind of chill and be. I guess really that's what we're doing. And one of the cool things that I've discovered in doing this show and kind of creating a practice is the 3 breaths. I'll call it the 3 breaths. The 3 breaths are just a way for me to set the stage, so to speak, for this show, right? For us all to align kind of energetically, emotionally, mentally, just intentionally. I think that's probably the most important thing, like the intention of just, being here and focusing on what's going on. So let's start the show. I usually do this with my bowl sage here. I clear the space, so to speak, not by lighting the sage, but by ringing the sage and doing the 3 breaths. So I'm pretty sure you guys know how to breathe, but in case you forgot, this is how you do it. With intention. The intentional breathing is really the most important part. Like, pay attention to the fact that you're breathing, right? Like usually it just happens. We just go through our day and we're breathing and it's keeping us alive and we don't even think about it. But I think connecting to that breath, intentionally breathing in and then pushing it out and letting go when you push it out, I feel like that there's something to that. And maybe it is just intention. Maybe I don't actually have to do the breath. I just have to have the intention, but the action of it, the sound, everything, it all helps. So let's do it together. Right now, I'm going to ring the bowl. We're going to breathe in. Ready? Here we go. In through the nose. Push it out. That one happened pretty fast. Let's try it again. In through the nose. Hold it for just a second. Feel it. And then push it out and feel it. Feel it leave. Feel the tension leave when you breathe out. Let's do one more together. And push it out. I love it. It's so easy. It's such an easy thing to do, just to have an intention to do 3 breaths. It literally took us, 60 seconds? Breathing is fundamental. That's my new campaign. When I was a kid growing up, they had this reading is fundamental campaign. You would see it on like Sesame Street or Channel 9 or whatever. Reading is fundamental, teaching kids to read. Breathing, folks. Breathing is fundamental. I totally believe that. What's up, Eveline? Good to see you. And hello to Sage as well. And Jennifer Rose reminding me always to kind of do the business, right? The business is to remind you guys who are out there already supporting, just to help do your part. If you type in #live like Jennifer did, it tells the algorithm, whatever that is, that there's something out there that should be paid attention to, and then it will put it in other people's feeds. Or if you don't want to type in #live, you can just click share and share it on your social media, or share it to a friend who might be into spiritual things, because that's what we talk about. We talk about consciousness, we talk about the universe, we talk about everything, and one of the things we talk about is the puzzle piece that you hold, right? So each week I have a guest. Most weeks I have a guest who holds a very specific puzzle piece. I believe that we all hold a puzzle piece to this big picture that is the one. We're all part of this one thing, right? Imagine it's a puzzle and we're all a piece of that puzzle. and we fit in a certain spot in that puzzle. Maybe we don't fit over here where other kinds of things are, but we fit with our tribe, we fit with our pieces. So that's really what I do. We create this space to connect and to look at the puzzle pieces and to revere the puzzle pieces. Yeah, I like that word. To respect and honor each other. And I think that's something that the world needs. So, what can I do except contribute that? And that's what we're doing here. We are contributing that to the world. Oh, and I see Labyrinthian Criterion, a new name. I love that. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to the Sacred Spiral Network. This is on my YouTube channel. I think it's probably hitting a couple of the Sacred Spiral Network outlets. The Sacred Spiral Network is made up of a bunch of people who all share the shows on their own personal channels and their YouTube channels. And then the Sacred Spiral has its own YouTube channel. And it's just a network of very gifted folks, very loving folks, very authentic folks, I feel like, who all have an hour of sharing their shows and their gifts, right? There's psychic mediums, there's numerologists, there are, I don't even know what you would call it, there are other realms, right? So there are people who talk about fantasy realms, fairies and dragons, and there are people like Lynn Junot who do ribbon readings, and I believe she's doing a crystal reading tomorrow. I haven't seen her do that, but just so many fascinating things. And what I like about the Sacred Spiral Network is it's a place you can go and kind of talk with like-minded folks, but then also maybe see something that you never saw before and be like, oh, what is that? That kind of resonates with me. I think that's cool. Or you might think it's a little silly, and that's cool too. Not everything is for everybody. You know, we all have our own special vibe, and they're all welcome here. All the vibes are welcome here. Evelyn says mystics. Yes, mystics. And Kelly Brickle is out there. I forgot to mention Kelly Brickle's name. How can I forget? Talking about the Sacred Spiral, the stone center of the Sacred Spiral is Kelly Brickle. She produces all of these shows. She puts all of this stuff together. I help her a little bit, and I love helping her, and I love being a part of this network and all the different people that I've met. As a matter of fact, what a great segue, because my guest tonight is somebody that I met in this through the Sacred Spiral. Somebody who has been watching the Sacred Spiral for a while. We were having a bit of a conversation before the show, and she mentioned to me, you know, she came across Jennifer Rose's show, and then she started watching, and she saw Kelly's show, and she says she loves the people, and she loves the audience too, right? So here you are watching a show in this comfort of your own home, and there's a chat room going on, and you can feel the love from the other people. You feel everybody, and it's actually going crazy right now. Evelyn is going, Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. Arnie's saying hello. Jennifer Rose is out there saying hello, and also saying, yay, Kim Princess, because that is actually who I'm talking about. One of the viewers of the show, right? You see this message I have going across the bottom of my screen. Do you have an interesting story? Because that's the kind of stuff we talk about, right? People who have interesting experiences, near-death experiences. Like I said, astrologers and numerologists and channelers, so many amazing people. And I put it out there and I got a response to, do you have an interesting story? And we definitely have an interesting story. And again, it's really more about, for me, it's about essence, it's about energy, it's about connection, it's about looking at someone and hearing their story and seeing your reflection, you know, feeling like, wow, like maybe that's not my story, but I could almost imagine if it was my story, right? How I would be. And then you get to see that other person experiencing it. We can live vicariously through each other, which I think is great. And I see Jessica Kalushin also out there. Hello, Jessica Kalushin. And Doreen is back. Welcome, Doreen. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. And Deb is here. Wow. Look at that. I got to get my romper room thing. I really got to get one of those things. I see Deb and I see Kelly and I see Doreen. I see you all. I do. I really actually do. In the form of comments, but I see you. Anyway, okay. Babbling done. Out of the way. let's get serious. Let's bring on my guest. Let's talk about some interesting stuff. Let's connect. Let's look at a puzzle piece. Let's see where that puzzle piece fits in our picture. And welcome to the live stream of consciousness, Miss Kim Princess. How you doing, Kim?
Hey. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you.
You too.
I got to tell you, I'm so happy that you reached out and responded to this message because I put the message there a couple of weeks ago. I think I started with this idea of I just want to reach out to people and I want to hear all of these amazing stories because I know we've got so many great people in the audience and I know that those people have their own experiences and I want to hear about them. And you reached out and you told me a little bit about your story, which there's a little bit of sadness in it.
Mhm.
But I think there's also a little bit of the theme I've been talking about lately, which is creating your own reality,
Right.
embracing who you are, right? Like figuring out, like, oh, I am a puzzle piece and I'm unique and I've got my own things to contribute to the world.
That's right.
And it seemed like you were right on the precipice of that. So here you are live on the live stream of consciousness. How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I love
Awesome.
everybody here.
Awesome. Yes. And I see Michael Christopher just showed up as well. Awesome. 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 And Arnie saying, hey, Bayside.
Yes,
Uh,
that's me.
I guess he knows that you're in Bayside. So we got actually a good Long Island contingent here tonight. Arnie's here, I'm here, you're here, as well
Yep.
as the West Coast Sacred Spiral contingency. Very, very cool. So tell me what what made you reach out to me first before you tell me your story? What made you reach out to me?
So at first, when I first saw it a couple weeks ago, I wasn't going to because I said, who's really going to want to hear about me? Or what if I start boring people or whatever? I don't even know if I
Mhm.
want to talk about it. And then the last time I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do want to talk about it. So I'm going to write something about myself to Michael. If he finds it interesting, fine. If not, well, c'est la vie. But you did
Uh-huh.
find it interesting, and I was really happy. So I really opened up and told you, this is my life. This is what
Yeah,
it's been like, and this
absolutely.
is what it is now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
I love it. I love it. And yeah, I did find it interesting and not a lot of people, I think a lot of people, are kind of closed off, right? And not as
oh yeah,
open to communicating with other people and especially about something that may be a tragedy or a trauma for
exactly.
them. You know what I mean? But I think here, on my show and in life in general, my show is just like a little microcosm of life. We do hear these stories of trauma that are also stories of transformation.
Yeah,
Things that we go through that make us who we are, right? Experiences that may not be so pleasant when we're going through them, but looking back, we see how they've given us strength or they've given us compassion or,
yes.
they've added something to who we are just for
Mhm.
having gone through that experience.
Right.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the experience and then we can start talking about where it's brought you to today, because I know the beginning of the stories is, like I said, a little sad, but
Yeah, so I'm going to start with, I guess, one of the biggest traumas of my life that's happened.
Mhm.
When I was 7, my dad took his own life,
Mm,
and I wasn't told what had happened.
mm,
So I kind of thought he was still coming home.
mm,
But something in me, even at 7, said, "No, I think he's gone. I don't think I'm ever going to see him again."
mm,
And the sad part about this is the way I was told. I went to the doctor, the pediatrician, and my
mm,
mom was in the room, and the pediatrician said to me, "I did everything I could to save your father, but I couldn't. It was his heart." And I didn't cry. I couldn't I don't know. It's like I already knew, but then I
mhm,
felt
mhm.
bad and I said, "Oh, I think I better cry." So I did. I started crying. And then when we left, I said, "All right, I want to go home and play a game now." It was like I just couldn't put two and two together, and nothing ever felt right. It didn't seem real. And I
Wow.
come to find out later on when I was 25 that he didn't have a heart. He actually hung himself in the garage. And I held a
Wow.
lot of anger when I did find that out because it was somebody who blurted it out, family. And I was
Mm.
very, very mad.
Oof.
And it's taken me a long time to let that go. Um, You know, you don't always have to be right. You could still respect people and love them even though they've done wrong things, because maybe they didn't
Hmm.
even think they were doing something wrong. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
But that
Hmm.
it was very hard, very hard. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, a year later, my grandma died, and she was my best friend.
Oh.
Nobody has ever loved me the way she did. So when that happened a year later, something started happening to me. I started having dreams. I knew she was going to die. I don't even know how I knew this, but again, when they told me, you know, Nana passed away, I couldn't cry because I knew it had already happened.
Hmm.
And it was
Hmm.
just like,
Hmm.
I was little. I'm like, what? This is so weird. What is going on?
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
again with the dreams, the dreams. So I'm going to tell you right now, this all started when I was 8. She had passed away. She had given me clowns one time, and they were wind up clowns, and they were really scary. And I don't know why I had them in the windowsill, but I had had a dream, and it woke me up. Here I am, 8 years old, and the clowns were playing music and moving
Oh
on
gosh.
their own.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I was 8 years old. I got up to the window and I saw this, and in my head, I remember saying, "Okay, I know this is my Nana. I know this is you." But I got
Hmm.
so scared that even at 8 years old, I started praying and said, "Please don't ever do this to me again. Don't ever show this to me
Hmm.
again. I don't like this. I don't want this. Nothing." But it didn't stop. It just kept happening and happening and happening. And
Wow.
the thing is that when it is happening, sometimes you actually do think you're crazy and you don't say anything. And when I would
Right.
say something, I was told I was crazy. Like, stop
Right.
it. You're crazy. Don't think like that. I was even told not to stare off into space because that's bad for you. So, you know, I just felt like I couldn't live, like I couldn't do it. But as I got
Hmm. Hmm.
older, you know, the dreams kept coming, and that's when I started realizing I'm having premonitions in my dreams and I'm actually seeing what's going to happen in real life. And
Wow.
sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. Sometimes like I
Hmm.
know when someone's going to get hurt, when
Hmm.
someone's going to pass, and it's always a big deal in my head. Do I say something? Do I not say something?
Right. Right.
It's not easy, but at the same time, it can also help me tell somebody, listen, you need to be careful when you're driving this and this and this and this, because I see it. I see it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And Kelly says, when you know things, experiencing them seems odd, truly. So, and I get what you're saying, and I feel like I'm going to go back to what you said about when your dad passed and you didn't cry, right? And
No.
you felt like you were supposed to be crying, so you
Yeah.
kind of made yourself cry because that's
Because
what
I
you
felt
wanted to.
sorry. I felt like, oh my God, they're
Right.
going to think I don't care.
Right. Right. I'm curious about that because I feel like I'm kind of similar, right? I feel like when people die, I have grief and I feel it, but I don't think I express it in the same way. And I think and this I'm just kind of responding to your story and saying this out loud, so tell me if I'm onto something. It's because I know that death isn't the end.
Yeah, I
You
think that
know
has a
what
lot. Yep. Yep.
so yeah, I'm sad for the moment, I'm sad for the physical aspect of the loss, but I don't have that feeling like, oh my God, they're gone forever, right? I
Mhm.
feel like I can still conjure them up in my head, I can still dream, there are
Right.
still ways for me to connect.
Hmm.
And even messages from mediums, you know what I mean, is
Yeah,
another way
and
to
that's helped
connect.
me so much because I never really sought one out or anything. And then all of a sudden, I'm meeting these people who are able to do that. And these people that I love have come through. And I'm like, thank God, because now I know, A, I'm not just seeing things and, you know, weirdo or whatever, but this is true. This is true. This is
Yeah.
happening, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And here we go. This is what I expected, and what you kind of wanted to. Thank you for sharing your story. It's very courageous, and it is, and I think
Yeah.
it's also, I think that a lot of times people go through things and kind of take it on as identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to not take that on as identity, right? And
That's right.
I think that through telling your story, that's like, for me, I feel like that's an act of, it isn't me, it's my story. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
what I went through, but
Right.
it's
It
not
doesn't
me. It's not who
define
I am.
me, but I
Right.
could finally talk about it because for a long time I could never utter these words. No way. And there's a
Yeah.
stigma. There's a stigma when it comes to this subject. And a lot of people don't take to it well, or they'll tell you
Right.
something, like, you know, it's just,
Right.
it's not easy.
Thank God for the Sacred Spiral Network, right? A
Yeah,
place that we can
really.
talk about this stuff and
Because I said to
not feel
myself,
out
I
of
have
place.
to tell my story somehow, but where am I going to do this?
Right here, right here. And as a matter of fact, you got some people here. I think you got some friends here in the audience. You got Annie Bear. Way to go. Way to go. And Annie Bear is asking a great question. Can you hear your guides?
So here's something that's been going on lately. I'll sleep and I'll hear, this is so crazy. The other day I heard blowing in my ear, but it wasn't just the regular blowing. It was like a wind. And I'm like, what is that? So I've been asking, are you trying to tell me something? What's going on? A couple times I've heard my name being called.
Ooh,
This is a good one. I've heard a puppy barking. I do not have a puppy. And twice
wow.
now I've heard singing. And I also heard music. And the music is nothing I've ever heard in real life. I'm like, what is this? So I don't
Wow.
know what I'm hearing. I'm assuming it's them. I'm assuming somebody is trying to show me something, hear something, but it's been happening a lot, especially lately.
Yeah, I would say your assumptions are probably correct. And I think you already know that, right? You're not even
Yeah.
assuming. You're knowing, and you're in the seeking phase, I think. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is something. I can't deny it, and I want to know what it is. I want to connect to it. And it's interesting. You said a couple things tonight already that I find interesting because I've just, in conversations that I've had, similar things, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine tonight, before we were here. We were at like a little holiday party, and we were talking, my wife Janice, she's a medium, and we were just talking about that kind of thing. And my friend Paul started talking about an experience that he had when he was really, really young. Um, and very similar, like you, he said, I don't want this. Don't show me this anymore. Different than you, it never happened again for him.
Uh,
So, and I know that for a lot of mediums, right? Like one of the people we were talking to was asking questions to Janice, and she's like, "Listen," she's like, I'm not working right now." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, I
And
can
and
understand.
and so a lot of the mediums I know are like that, right? They
Hmm.
need to draw their own boundaries, right? So that like spirit just can't be like, "Hey, I want to talk to you right now," in the middle of
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
You need to exercise those muscles, right? And create your own kind of protocol, right? For how
Yeah,
how it
because
how
if
it
you don't put a boundary, then everyone's going to come for it. And then where do you stop? You know,
Right,
it's
right. But
true.
I found it interesting that you said you didn't want it, but they still came.
I
So,
prayed, and there's okay. There's another story I have. I must have been about 19 years old. I woke up. Now I don't know if this was just in my head, but I saw a man standing at my bed with a hat on and a trench coat. And I closed my eyes and I prayed. I prayed to God, please don't do. I don't want. No, I don't know. No,
mm,
but
mm,
and when you do that, it does go away for a little while,
mhm,
but it
mhm,
comes
mhm.
back.
Wow.
And now when it's coming back in different ways. Because now I'll see symbols.
Ooh, like visually in your head,
Here's
or
the thing, like I'll wake up from a really deep lucid dream. Like in my dreams, I'm constantly flying or I'm constantly jumping
you were talking about
somewhere
that
or
the other night,
oh
yeah.
my God, I fly all the time. And doing something and I'll wake up really abruptly and then like right in front of you, you could see symbols. It's like I'll see like I don't even know how to describe them. Sometimes it's symbols that I even understand what they mean to me.
Hmm,
But if I was
hmm.
to say it to you, you'd be like, well, it's just
Right.
so
And
strange.
Annie
And it's like I
Bear's,
feel like I can touch it. I'm like, what is happening?
wow. And symbols and signs. I get songs, feathers, coins, and smells. Annie Bear saying, and
Yes.
and Tina says, when I was a little girl, I remember seeing the Hat Man.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
No, I
I've
asked
not
for
heard
him to
of
go
that. Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And Annie Bear's validating. You're right. Protection and boundaries are important. So let me ask you another question then now. Knowing that you are a fan of the Sacred Spiral Network and you watch all of these shows, have you reached out to take any classes or work with anybody to develop
Yes, yes, yes.
these
So
oh,
I've only taken one or two classes, but I do have a story about a class that happened 2 weeks ago. So the
okay.
class I was in, her name is Sun Psychic Jean. She's on YouTube as well,
Okay.
and I said, okay, I'm going to take a class and we're going to practice psychic abilities. But I didn't know that I had to go into a room with someone that I don't know and read them cold, just looking at them. I said, I can't
Yeah.
do this. This is
Oh,
so
there's
embarrassing. I was
balloon.
like, what am I doing? So I
Yeah.
go in this room with this lady and I'm saying to myself, good Lord. So I'm looking at her, I'm looking at her. And I said, all right, this is what I'm getting. I said, does your back hurt? And she goes, my back hurts a lot. I have cancer in my spine. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I don't even know why I said that. And then we keep talking and talking. And I said to her, telling her a story about how I did a meditation and I saw you're supposed to figure out what your spirit animal is. And a baby elephant came to me. And I said, that is so weird. Why is it a baby elephant of all the
Hmm.
things? Okay, fine. It's a baby elephant.
Hmm.
So again, I'm in this psychic group with this woman and I say to her, I don't know why. I said, but I'm thinking about elephants and I don't know if you like them. And you know what she says to me? She goes, now I know you don't know me. She goes, but I am on YouTube and my name is Purple Elephant. I didn't know her from anything. And I said,
Wow.
what? So I almost fell
Wow.
off the chair because I was like, whoa. I was like, what? That's what? And here I am going on about an elephant, and it was all because she's so connected to elephant. Because that's her
Mm.
whole name. I'm like, oh, okay, whoa. So that was pretty
So
interesting.
that's very interesting. I mean, to me, it feels like pretty evident, Kim, that you are, like I said, like right on the precipice of tapping in to whatever it is that's
Think so.
tapping from the inside, trying to get
Yeah,
out.
I
Um,
think so.
and it's exciting. I feel like I do so much of this. Like I have so many of these conversations. I'm ready any day, right, to just like wake up and start speaking another language
Yeah,
or
me too.
whatever. Like I hope it
Yeah,
happens, right? But it sounds like you've been experiencing that. Now, I did take a class um where it's very similar. We had to like read other people, right? And this was a class about the Akashic records and just like you, I was kind of like I'm there and I'm just like trying to tap in and I'm like I don't know what to say, right? Like you're feeling pressure of
I felt so
expectations.
much pressure.
Yeah, but I just started talking and kind of saying whatever came to my head, and I think I was in some place that was like ancient, and there was something about Roman guards or something, and I didn't know what I was saying, but the person who I was talking to knew what I was saying, knew how to interpret
Oh, wow.
that message, right?
Wow,
And I'm
that's
just like,
awesome.
that's crazy, like
Whoa.
that's just
Yeah,
amazing. And
that
I
would
and I
blow my
think
mind.
well, it sounds like you kind of had a similar experience, right? I mean,
But I just,
like, saying things and then
yeah.
getting validation, like, oh yeah, that's my name on YouTube. I mean, that's pretty nuts. You
And I
know what
was
I
like,
mean?
what? And then there was another woman, and I said to her, this sounds so weird. I feel like you like old things, like you're into antiques. And she goes, oh, I know what you're picking up on. She goes, I live in a house that's been around for 6 generations of my family.
Mm,
So this is a very, very old home. And I have all the stuff that they've had for 6 generations in this house. I'm like, whoa.
wow. That's
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. It looks like I just want to acknowledge Annie Bear for coming through. She says, I'm swooshing through, dear ones. Great show. I have to go. Last super full moon of 2025, which I
Full
did notice
moon.
before I
Yeah.
came in. The moon is amazing tonight. So if you get a moment, wherever you are in this planet, go outside and look at the moon, feel its energy. That's always a great moment. I love that. And Michael is saying that's exactly how mediumship works. Yeah, I feel like you're definitely in the right place. There was a comment before, I think Michael said that you found your tribe with the Sacred Spiral Network.
I
So
did.
yeah, I'm glad
Thank you,
you're here.
Kelly.
Yeah, well, I miss Kelly. What did she say?
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, everybody's giving you compliments. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like that's what's happening, right? People are coming into these amazing abilities within themselves and um oh, you said something earlier. Oh, you were talking about like even coming to tell your story and you were saying like, who's going to find me interesting? And there was this self-doubt, right?
Oh, always. Yeah,
But but you intentionally fought that self-doubt.
I
You
did.
said, you know what? I'm gonna. What do I've got to lose, right? And I think that
Exactly. You have nothing to
that's
lose.
it's such an easy thing to say, but it's a hard thing to say.
It
I think a
is.
lot of
It
people,
is.
everybody wants to hold on tight to what they have and who they
Yep.
are,
And
and
nobody
I
wants to look like a fool. Nobody wants to
right.
feel like a fool. Nobody wants to say, "Ooh, what's wrong with that person?" But you know what? At this point in my life, I don't care.
Well, I think that that's when the good things happen, right? I think that when you're outside of your comfort zone and you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna care about what people are thinking. I'm just gonna
Nope.
do this, right?
Yep.
Like, I say it often. I never ever. I was always producing shows for other people. I never expected to be on the screen like this talking, right?
You know, I could imagine.
And when it happened, it was just like there was something in the energy of it, in the essence of it, in the conversations. I mean, even I would say 20 years ago I was not a people person at all. I did not like people.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I thought I would rather not go out in public and hang out with
Right.
people because I just thought everyone was a jerk.
Yeah.
And then I realized, and I've said this on the show too, maybe it's because that's what I think. Maybe that's why I'm experiencing it that way because I
Right.
think there's so many jerks out there that I'm experiencing so many jerks. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I started looking for the good in people. I started seeing my reflection in other
Yeah,
people,
me
and
too.
my whole life has changed so much. And really, that's what brought me to this whole new, I think, this new coat I'm going to put on to the live stream of consciousness is the idea of creating your own reality.
Yes.
I think that we all have the power to create our own reality. This right here, this moment, what you guys are looking at on the screen right now, this is me and Kim creating our reality, and you guys are part of it. And you guys are actually what validates the fact that it's real, right? Because you're here,
Yes.
you're interested in hearing what we have to say, you're sharing your love, you're sharing your essence. I mean, it's phenomenal, and I think
It's
people are
beautiful.
people are starting to wake up to that and not be afraid of what other people think because they're trusting themselves, they're loving themselves, right? I think that that's an important thing, to really love yourself and not like who the hell cares if somebody thinks you're boring? If somebody thinks you're
Exactly.
boring, let them go do something
And the
else.
hardest person to love is yourself.
Yes, yes. And the most rewarding person to love
Is
as
yourself.
well
That's right.
is yourself, right? And I think, this should be something that's taught like in kindergarten, like in preschool,
Mm,
like these are the lessons that people need to be set up with in order for the world to really raise the level,
that's right. And
of
they don't do that in kindergarten. I don't remember anybody ever, I went to Catholic school my whole life, but I don't remember ever hearing you have to love yourself. I would have loved to hear that, but
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
times are different now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you are worthy, you know what I mean? You are beautiful, those things, I just I don't think, we grew up hearing those things,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And now I see it happening all around. And it's partially because of where I choose to be, right? The places I
Mhm.
choose to be, because I could choose to be in places where they're just talking about politics and hating on each other, you know what I mean? But I don't choose to be in those places.
Yeah,
You
I
know
feel
what I
the same
mean?
way. Yep.
And because of that, my life is much more enjoyable. I feel like I have much more control of my life.
Mm.
Again, the whole idea of creating your own reality is, uh, for me, I don't think I even knew what the heck I wanted for a long time. I
Oh, I
never
relate to that.
how could I create my own reality if I don't know what I want that reality to be, right?
And
Oh,
I relate to that. I
I
didn't
want to
know
have
that for a
money.
long time. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, where am I
Right,
going? Yeah.
right.
So when you kind of figure out what you want to do, and you go for it, you're like, wow, okay, now you're not just floating around wondering, well, where am I going? It's scary.
Hmm.
It is a
Yeah.
scary thing.
Yeah. But again, like the reward, right? The reward of kind of just taking control, taking accountability, you
Yep.
know what I mean? And not waking up going, "Oh my God, I got to go to work because I got to pay the rent." Like, I
Hmm.
mean, I still work, I still have another regular job, but I love my job. I love what I'm doing, and I just, it makes each day so much more I don't want to
Rewarding.
say bearable, but rewarding. Yeah, that's
Rewarding.
it. Bearable is not the right word because bearable sounds like you're just getting through. But it's the same thing. And again, not to bore my audience, and maybe even you've heard me talk about this, but something as far as like intention goes, right? When you have intention, it really works. And it 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 got to the point where when I say to somebody, "Hey, how's it going?" and they say to me, I'm hanging in there, like I have a reaction because I'm like, "No, don't say that. Like, don't say that. Your words are powerful, right?" And
Yeah.
I went through a period intentionally saying, "I'm awesome." Like when somebody would ask me, "Hey, how's it going?" If I started to say, "Hanging in there," I would catch myself, and I'd be
Right.
like, "Wait, am I hanging in there? Is that
Right.
is that what I want to think? Is that where I want to be?" You know what I mean? And it just really worked, for me. And I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody, but it's a good set of exercises to try, I think.
It is. And I think
You
it's
know?
important too when we ask people how they are and we can tell that they're not okay, to say something and say, I don't think you're okay. Do you want to talk? Do you need me to hold space for you? Do you want
Hmm.
me to just sit here with you?
Hmm.
Because a lot of people can be depressed. They can be going through a lot. And
Hmm.
you can help others. And that's what I want to do. If I can help save one life, one person from not choosing to go down that horrible road, I will. I
Hmm.
have, and I will continue to do so.
There you go. Awesome. Awesome. And these are just, I think, little steps in you coming into who you are, and I think you're going to be doing a lot more things. And I want to talk about that, tarot reading and all of these other things that you do.
Yeah.
But I also want to take a moment. Tim Lawrence is a listener who has been listening to the live stream of consciousness since day one, literally. Tim was friends with Jesse Blaze before the show started, so he came on to watch Jesse, and he became a fan of the show and a friend of mine. He's actually been to my house. I've met his son Taryn. He's got an amazing story, so much beauty in his story, but also there's a lot of darkness and a lot of health issues. He's talking in the comments about taking Taryn back to the hospital for more tests.
Ugh.
He himself has been through a lot of health issues, but man, Tim is one of the most loving, positive, beautiful people I know, and because he chooses to be. Like
Right.
I could see how Tim could really be a miserable person and
Of
and
course.
and and bitter, but he is such a loving, amazing person. So Tim, I would love actually everybody else to just kind of put your hands together and just feel a moment for Tim. Send love to Tim. Tim, he could use it. I know he can do it without it, but I feel like sending him some love will definitely work and help him and Taryn, his son, and his beautiful wife, Sonia. And thank you, Tim, for always, always being here. No matter what's going on in your life, you're always
Yeah.
here when you can be, and I appreciate it. Again, just an example of somebody who I feel like creates his own reality, not the bad parts, right? Those parts are life, but by dealing with those things the way he deals with it, Tim met a beautiful woman in Brazil, got married, had a beautiful son. Like his story is one of triumph in my eyes, even though all of these challenges keep
Yeah.
presenting themselves,
Yeah.
um,
And I can
and
relate to Tim in that regard because my daughter Aliana, she was born with spina bifida.
oh,
And nobody knew this. And you want to hear something really, really incredible? When I was having one of my OB/GYN appointments around 6 months, I said, I think my baby has spina bifida. He said, why would you even say that?
wow,
I said, I don't know. And when she came out, she did. And
Wow.
we weren't sure if she was going to be able to walk or anything. And it was so scary, especially being a single mom and, you know, just dealing with everything. It's so hard. But I'll tell you,
Mm,
Aliana has had two surgeries, really, really serious surgeries. And she is great. She walks, she runs, she jumps, she dances. Um, Along with spina bifida comes kidney problems. We've had a lot of issues, okay?
mm,
And that
mhm,
first
mhm.
surgery she had, she was only 2 years old. And it was
Wow.
major, major surgery. And I was the only one that stayed with her in the hospital that night. And it was a horrible night because she had a bad reaction to morphine. And you're not supposed to be up when you have spinal surgery because your brain fluid can leak. And her body
Mm.
just kept going up with convulsions, and we couldn't do anything.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
horrible. But can I tell you something? The next
Please.
day, the physical therapist said she's gonna walk. I'm like, I don't. She did.
Wow.
She walked down the hall, and I said to myself, my daughter's strong. I'm strong. We're in this together. And if I even have to
Yeah.
carry her every single place I have to go to for the rest of my life, I will.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. And I got to tell you, Kim, I oftentimes I say I'm not a psychic, right? But I know that we all are. I know that we all have this. I felt when you were talking about it that she is blessed. You guys are both blessed
Yes.
to be in each other's lives, and I think that she is the way you describe happy and you know the life that she has
I gave birth
is
to my best friend. I don't know
wow.
how lucky I got that God did that for me, but I did.
Amazing, amazing. And just again, just the fact that somebody can say that out loud and have that perspective. I mean, it's beautiful. It's so heartwarming.
And to
So
say I
beautiful.
love you right out loud is such an important thing for me because I never heard those words growing up. Never
Mm,
heard I love you, never got
mm,
hugged. And there's something about Aliana, and she doesn't do this because she knows that or whatever. Every single night before she goes to bed, she says, I love you. And you don't
oh my
know
gosh.
how that makes me feel not having that in my life. So now for 15 years I've had that. Well, I mean, she couldn't speak for the first 2 years, but I would say to her, "You're my best friend. I love you," and then she would start repeating it.
Wow. You know what? I just got a little bit of a chill myself because again, my
Oh, I did
theme,
too. Oh, my
yeah,
arm.
my theme is creating your own reality. And literally, you created her.
I did. I did.
Like
And it was like I
literally.
knew I was going to. And I said, I have to create my own family, someone who is going to love me purely. And I did. I did that.
It's amazing. I
Yeah.
can only imagine what an amazing person this child is going to become, and already
It's so
is.
amazing. It's funny because we're complete opposites, yet we're so much the same. And I appreciate her strength. I mean, we have, I honestly think we have seen really, really darkness. And, you
Yeah,
know, we've both
yeah.
come out of that. And I will never let anybody ever stand in my way ever again.
Amazing, amazing, beautiful, beautiful story. And honestly, like also, I hear in your story you're talking about generational trauma,
Oh,
and
yes.
and not only the trauma, but you're talking about the healing that you did for the trauma
Yeah,
with
on
your
my
daughter.
own. Like, no one said to me, you need to do this, you should do this. No, 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 I have to do this. This has to stop right now. This is
Mhm.
never going to happen again. And that's it.
Amazing,
Yep. Yep.
amazing.
Mm.
Listen, this is by far not a boring story,
Oh,
Kim.
no. So great.
And I want to know. So I want to know what you're doing these days. Like, how have you taken now these newfound experiences, right? And communications and signs. What are you doing now, and where do you plan on taking it? Because I'm just going to push you. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say, okay, you got to do that. You know.
So I really want to start a tarot card business that is flowing, that's going, that you have clients all the time here and there. Because I do read tarot. I read for friends and family, and I love it. I feel like I'm good at it.
Hmm.
Not only that though, I've really gotten into crystals and stuff like that. And there's other readings that I do. There's a certain reading with a certain deck that's called soul readings, and it's what
Hmm.
your soul wants you to know right now.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
can't tell you how beautiful it is, and it resonates, and it's like you say to yourself, okay, this is what I have to do. It's just so nice. And I want to help people. I want them to feel better and to say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I could do this, or this is what I need to do. Because sometimes we're lost. We all get
Yep.
lost. And if I could be
A
that
lot of
person
people.
to help you just a little bit, then that's exactly what I want to do.
Well, I'm not even going to question if you could. I'm going to say you can, and you are. You've already gotten a taste of it,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to just encourage you. Arnie is out there saying, "Keep shining bright," uh,
Oh, thank
and
you.
and also Evelyn brings up a great point. Being guided by spirit, Grandma. Do you feel your
She
grandma?
is. She
Yeah,
is. She is. Yep. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Very much so.
Amazing. And do you have any memories? Was your grandmother into anything like tarot or any energetic stuff,
So
or
my
she?
grandma spoke a little bit of English, yet somehow when she spoke to me in Spanish, I understood her. And I would speak in English, she would speak in Spanish. And that's how I learned Spanish, just by listening.
Wow.
And it was amazing the relationship we had, because nobody here is speaking the same language. We're playing, we're doing anything I wanted, anything. And she was always on my side. It was like, let's say my mother, whatever, don't do that to her, don't talk to her. That was that one person. So when
Mm,
she went right after my dad, I said, oh boy, now what? Now what? You know,
mm,
but
mm.
is there any way I could read a poem? It's really nice.
There is every way that you can read a poem, and
Okay,
I
so
would love for you to read a poem.
I just want everybody to hear this poem because it's my favorite poem and I think it's inspiring. It's by
Okay.
Edmund Vance Cook and it's called How Did You Die?
Oh.
Did you did you tackle that trouble that came your way with a resolute heart and cheerful, or hide your face from the light of day with a craven soul and fearful? Oh, a trouble's a ton, or a trouble's an ounce, or a trouble is what you make it. And it isn't the fact that you're hurt that counts, but only how did you take it? You are
Mm,
beaten to earth? Well, well, what's that? Come up with a smiling face. It's nothing against you to fall down flat, but to lie there, that's disgrace. The harder you're thrown, why the higher you bounce. Be proud of your blackened eye. And it isn't the fact that you're licked that counts, it's how did you fight and why? And though you be done to earth, what then? If you battled the best you could. If you played your part in the world of men, why, the critic will call it good. Death comes with a crawl or comes with a pounce, and whether he's soul or spry, it isn't the fact that you're dead that counts, but only how did you die?
beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. I love that poem. And again, I do feel like that's for me in my experience, and I know this even from like my stepdad. He is horribly afraid of dying. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And I feel like that affects your whole life. You know what I mean? Not
It
that he doesn't
does.
have a good life. He does have a good life. He's a happy guy. But if he wasn't afraid of dying, I feel like he could live a little bit more. I have something amazing here, and I think this is. I was about to ask you if you felt like you could like maybe pull a card for the
Of
collective or
course.
something like that.
Yeah,
But
let's do the soul part because those are my
as I
favorite.
was thinking that though,
Oh,
as I
sorry.
was thinking that, Kim, you got an invitation, a personal invitation here from Michael Christopher saying, "Do you want to go live together
I
sometime?"
do. 100%.
There
Yes.
you go. Look at that. I knew it. We are
Yes.
creating reality live,
Thank
folks.
you.
Right here, live. Michael, you are the best. Thank you
You
so
are.
much for. There you go. And it's a collaborative. We are the collective, and
And
reality is
reality
what
is
we
what
make
we.
it. So, Michael, thank you for contributing to this moment and the reality. And Evelyn is giving you applause, and Jennifer is saying, "Love it."
Thank
Here we
you.
go. We're on
Okay,
our
so these
way,
are
Kim.
soul cards. This is gonna tell everybody what their soul needs to know right now.
Okay.
Okay? And I hope you like it, love it, find it inspiring, because I do. All right, here we go. What does everybody's soul want them to know right now? Okay, and we got commitment. So this is what the
Ooh.
card looks like. The spirit is saying they want commitment from all of us, but let's read exactly what that entails, because when you read it, it gives you so much strength. Okay, so it's time to make a commitment, everybody. Stand tall, don't hesitate, and keep your word. Your word becomes law in your universe. Making a commitment is taking a stand. Fear of doing this because you might fail sends a message to your subconscious that you are a failure. You are not a failure. There's always the possibility that you might not succeed, but to hesitate because of fear instead of forging forward keeps joy and freedom at bay. So decide now what it is you need to do. The most important promises that you make are to yourself. Forgive yourself when you don't honor your word, and then without shame, recommit yourself with passion and gusto. And there's an affirmation. So it says, my commitments increase my joy and freedom.
Wow. Kim, I have to say, not only was that an amazing card for the collective, but an amazing card for tonight's episode, which
I was
I
thinking that,
said says
yeah,
creating reality,
yeah, it's true.
because here I and tell me if I'm right or wrong, Jennifer, but Jennifer Rose is saying me too, and I think she means she's asking you if you want to go live. Is that am
Yes,
I right?
yes,
So Kim, I without even knowing what was going to happen and just titling the show creating reality, and we are creating reality tonight. We are creating reality tonight.
yes,
I am
yes.
so excited.
Me
I am
too.
so excited
Thank
about
you.
this. This
I'm
is
so happy.
amazing. And Arnie says, you're awesome, Michael Christopher. I feel Kim needs to be out there. Awesome, awesome. This is amazing. Look at that. I
Yay!
can we anybody deny what's happening right here? Like this is exactly what we wanted it to be, what we set it out to be, and
Yes,
I couldn't be happier. Thank you guys from the
me
Sacred
too.
Spiral Network, Jennifer and Michael. You guys are amazing. And so this rings true for me right now, and also for you. Go live, she's saying.
You
Um,
know, it's funny because I tried to do that, but YouTube, you have to have a certain number of people or you can't go live because I tried.
I think on some of the platforms you do, but
Oh,
something like StreamYard, this,
oh,
you know
right.
what I mean? This
I
allows me
have
to
to
go
figure
live.
out how to do this.
But
I'm not
you
good
know
with
what?
this.
And you've got people around you who are going to help you.
Yeah,
You've already been invited on to two other shows,
yes.
specifically, I think, to do readings.
Yeah, yeah.
So uh, my job is done here.
Yay. Good job.
And
I
your
feel
job,
it.
it's your job is no, our jobs are never done. But I just want you to acknowledge you did this.
They did.
You reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want me on your show?" And then I did, and then I took over and I said, "Yes,
Good.
I do." And
I
here we
know.
are, and now you got two guest spots to look forward to,
And I
which
thank you a million
who
times
knows what that's
over.
going to lead to? Who knows what that's going to lead to?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
I think we all kind of know what it's going to lead to. It's can only be good.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I want. So that makes me very
Amazing.
happy. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations for creating your own reality. Um,
And everybody else
and
who's watching can do it too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All dreams do come true. Listen, I am on a crusade to let everybody know that everybody can create their reality. And yes, I know that, there are things in this world like spina bifida, right? But
Yeah,
but but look at how you're still managing and navigating your life
that's
even
right.
with that as a part of it, and
Mhm.
that's a testament to you, that's a testament to your daughter,
Yep.
that's a testament to that amazing vibration. And Edward has been saying some stuff here. I just want to give him some acknowledgement. You have hundreds of friends from other chats who will support you, so you've
Yeah.
already got an audience waiting
Oh, I
for
hope
you.
so.
You know what I mean? And when you start, I feel like you are going to feel right at home. You're going to get responded to right away, which will just validate for yourself, what's going on. And Tim, I was helping Tim a little bit work on his song. He created a song for his daughter who passed, which is
Oh,
amazing. And so we've been working with the AI a little bit to kind of tweak it and get it going. So I can't wait to debut it, and I think I told them we would debut it here. So awesome! We're gonna hear it
yeah, you
soon.
should.
I'm excited about that.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
we have a great community here, guys. Thank you so much, all of you guys out there, for
Yeah.
being here, and Jennifer and Michael especially for contributing to the reality that we all witnessed happen here live, which man, I can't even put it into words how I feel, because
Neither.
that was the intention. I feel like
Yes.
I got to start writing down some intentions and
Yeah.
really focusing, you
You
know,
can
and
make things happen. You,
I can
sir,
make things
you.
happen too. Yes. You know what? It's interesting because a lot of times I see a lot of people who are healers and communicators, and a lot of times I'm like, they're talking to themselves. Like that message is for them, right? So a lot of
Yeah,
the
I
stuff
know.
that they
I
say to
was
me,
reading it. I'm like, wait a minute. This is just what we spoke about.
isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
Amazing. 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 Oh, Kim, awesome. Love fest. She says love fest. Love is the best, definitely. So much more pleasant than the alternative.
Exactly.
Oh, Kim, I'm just so glad that you reached out. I'm so glad that we did this.
Thank you for
Excite.
listening to me, and thank you for reading my email. I mean, somebody else could have been like, oh, yeah,
Listen, you know what? I think we're all in this together. I've said that many times
yeah,
before. You know, I put a message down at the bottom of my screen like, "Hey, reach out to me." I'm gonna follow up on that if somebody
yeah,
actually reaches out to me. You know what I mean? We've all got to be true to our word, right? Isn't that one of the four
hundred
agreements?
percent.
You know, be true to your word,
Yep.
and amazing things happen. Amazing things happen. Edward is saying love and light to you all. Edward, thank you so much for being here. I hope you join me on other nights when Kim's not here. This is the vibe. This is what we
Yeah,
do here at the live stream of consciousness. We
I
share
think
our
I
puzzle
know Edward
pieces.
from somewhere. I think I
I
know
think
Edward.
he's yeah, I think he's a fan of yours. He was talking about you and having other fans around. So you've definitely got people who, oh, he said something about thank you for sharing his post. So I think let me see. Yeah, he said here, thank you for putting up my post. I want her to know her chat friends are here to support her.
Oh, that's so nice. Makes me
So
so
thank you.
happy.
I appreciate all you guys showing Kim exactly how amazing she is, showing up here tonight for her. I'm sure that meant a lot to her. It definitely meant a lot to me. And Taryn is sitting with Sonia, helping her learn English. Ah, amazing. So an amazing thing about Tim and Sonia's relationship is Sonia doesn't speak English. So Tim learned Spanish. They communicate, but now Sonia is here in America. She's moved to the United States, and Taryn is teaching her English. That's so awesome.
So
I
I
gotta
hope,
have the whole family on
yeah.
at some point. Such a great family.
Did you have him
Awesome.
on one time, the little boy? I remember seeing
Yes,
him.
yes,
Yeah,
yep,
he's
yep.
so cute.
Tim came on the show, and Taryn was on the show, running around like a maniac.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So let me ask you a question before we wrap this up. Do you have any final thoughts? How was your experience? How do you feel
So
about?
this was great. I mean, I loved it. I love that you asked me to pull a card because I was hoping you would without me having to say anything. So that made me happy. I'm happy I got to read that poem because that's my favorite poem.
Awesome.
And I just want to say, because I know it's the holidays and a lot of people, you do get depressed and you do feel sad and you do wish those people that have walked on are still here. But don't give up. You always have somebody to talk to. There's always somebody who will be there for you. And that includes me.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Kim, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
I feel good. I love it when I finish a show and I feel like I hit a home run.
Yeah,
And I feel like we did that
you
together.
did.
So thank you for being here. And thank you guys for all of your support. Always, you guys are always so very supportive. Um, what do I got going on Tuesday? I forgot. Kelly told me, but I forgot. Oh, I think I have. You know, we were talking about Grace Grella earlier. I think Grace Grella is coming on to the live stream on next. Nope, sorry. Let me back up here and slow down. Holding Space on Tuesdays. Grace Grella is going to be my guest on Holding Space, and I actually have Arnie Layton, who's in the audience, coming up. Not next week, the 11th, but the following week after that. Next week, the 11th, I'm actually filming a hardcore show with a band called Lockdown here on Long Island, and another band called MOD, which was around like in the 90s, and they're back and they're older guys, and I'm super excited. As a matter of fact, Rob Machete, who is in the band, he's the guitar player for MOD, and he was in a band called Propane. He's going to come on my show, so I'm excited for that. And Arnie, yes, it's going to be fun when you are here for sure. And Edward, thank you so much. Great show. I'm a subscriber now. I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing your friends, Kim. I
I
appreciate
try.
it. Um, and that's the show for tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. It was definitely a fun one. This is the vibe. If you liked it, bring some friends next time, or just come back yourself. And you don't even have to bring a gift. But thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you a dream for reality. We're all a part of the answer to